shake off naughty things, as they were forest leaves by wind god blown. Whosoever serene and calm, dead to the world, can utter wise phrases with head uninflated. Unruffled, he did strip off naughty things, as they were forest leaves by wind god blown. Calm and serene, by vice unharassed. Free from all that hinders clarity of mind. Lovely in virtue, of discerning wit. He should end maker be of suffering. The following was said concerning the Vajans who believed in Devdutta, and approved of his doctrine. Some ones there be on whom none should rely, be they housefolk, or even among monks. Such as have once been good and turned to bad, and then from bad have veered to good again. Desires of sense, ill will, torpor and sloth. In the bhikkhu, distraction of the mind, and doubt. 5 evils of the heart are these. Whosoever can suffer both extremes of fate, the favor and disfavor of the world, the while he remains in sober earnestness, unwavering his concentrated mind. Him, meditating ardent and unweariedly, with intuition fine and delicate, zealous to kill the tendency to grasp. Him a good man indeed should others call. To draw yet other distinctions, instancing the Lord and himself, he uttered these verses. The mighty ocean, the extended earth, the mountains, yes, the firmament afford no picture meet to show how excellent the emancipation of our Lord's mind. The elder monk, very wise, intent, who after his example turns the wheel, is like to earth, to water, and to fire, in that he feels no fondness nor disgust. He has the topmost place for wisdom now. Mighty in intellect, a mighty sage. Not dull is he though he seem dull of wit. Ever in blissful calmness he walks his way. To show the completion of his life's task, he said, the teacher has my loyalty and love, and all the Buddha's ordinance is done. Lo, have I laid the heavy load I was having. Cause for rebirth is found in me no more. And when he came to his utter passing away, he thus addressed the monks assembled around him. Press on with earnestness and win the goal. This the commandment that I give to you. Lo! Now my going out complete will be. From all am I released and utterly. Thera. Ananda. Adapted from the archaic translation by Mrs. Rhys Davids. Ananda. Deceased from the Tusita heaven, together with our Bodhisat, he took birth in the family of Amitodana the Sākiyan. And because the family said, he is born bringing you happiness, so they named him. When he was grown up, and the renunciation, supreme enlightenment and wheel-rolling had taken place, and the Exalted One had finished his visit to Kapilavatthu, Ananda renounced the world with Bhaddiya and the others, and was initiated into monkhood by the Exalted One. Not long after he heard a discourse by Puṇṇa of the Mantānis, and completed the first path. Now during the first 20 years of the Exalted One's Buddhahood, his personal attendants were not permanently such. One day it was Nagasamala, who, taking bull and monk's dress, walked after him. Another day Najita, another day Upavana, Sunakata, Khuddhaka the novice, Theragatha, Nikàya. Usually the Lord did not favor one more than the others. But one day the Lord, seated in the Buddha's seat of supremacy, in the cell of the fragrant chamber, surrounded by the monks, addressed them thus. I, bhikkhus, am now advanced in years. And some bhikkhus, when they have been told, let us go this way, take another way, and some drop my bowl and dress on the ground. Do you know of a bhikkhu to be my permanent body servant? Then a righteous thrill went through the monks, and the venerable Sariputta arose, and, bowing to the Exalted One, said, I, Lord, will wait upon you. Him the Exalted One rejected, and Moggallana the Great also. And all the great disciples said, we will wait upon you, except only Ananda. But he just sat in silence. Then they said to him, Monk, do you, too, ask the Lord for the post of attendant? If I did ask, what sort of post gaining would that be? He himself will say of whom he approves. Then the Exalted One said, Ananda, Bhikkhus, is not to be urged by others. If he knows it of himself, he will wait upon me. Then the monks said again, Get up, monk Ananda, ask the Lord for the post. Then Ananda stood up and said, If, Lord, the Exalted One will refuse me 4 things and grant me 4 things, then will I wait upon the Exalted One. Will he never give me any choice garment or food gotten by him, nor a separate fragrant cell, nor go if he has received an invitation? For if he do not deny me these things, some will say, Where is the burden of such service? Ananda serves that he may get clothes, good treatment, and lodging, and be included in the invitations. And further, will the Exalted One go when I have received invitations? Will he make me to bring those to him who have come from afar and around to see him? Will he, when I am perplexed, make me to come to him? Will he repeat to me doctrines he has taught while I was present? Sick. Absent, not presented. For if he do not grant me these things, some will say, Where is the advantage in such service? If when I am asked to bring the Exalted One to a meal next day he will not come, or if he will not consent to see whom I would bring, people will put no trust in me, and will say he shows me no attention. And if he do not explain the doctrine and its divisions, they will say, Friend, do you not know, however much you follow him like his shadow? If, then, the Exalted One will grant me these 8 boons, I will wait upon him. And the Exalted One granted them. So from that day from then on Ananda waited upon him of the 10 powers, bringing him water and toothpick, washing his feet, accompanying him, sweeping his cell, and so forth. During the day he kept at hand to mark the Lord's. This should be procured, that should be done. And at night, taking a stout staff and lantern, he would go 9 times round the fragrant cell, making response if the Lord called, that he might not succumb to drowsiness. Then the Lord, in Aryan conclave at the Jita Grove, ranked him the foremost bhikkhu in 5 respects: erudition, mental vigilance, power of walking, firmness, ministering care. And so this great monk, remaining yet a student after the Lord had passed away, when addressed by the bhikkhus and alarmed by a fairy, as has been related above, thought, Tomorrow the council will take place, but it is not suitable that I, who am doing a student's work, should go to the assembly to recite the doctrine with the masters, the elders. Then zeal awoke in him, and far through the night he practiced insight on the terrace. His efforts yet unrewarded, he entered the vihara, and seated on his couch, and desirous to lie down, he inclined his body. His head had not touched the pillow, nor his feet left the ground, when in that interval his heart was freed from the intoxicants without any grasping whatever, and he won 6-fold abhina. Therefore he entered the council hall. Now the verses he had uttered from time to time were collected, and included in the monks' sayings at the recital of the Khuddhaka Nikàya. The first stanzas were delivered in admonition to those bhikkhus whom he saw staying with Devdutta's followers. With slanderer and man of anger, with the mean-hearted and malignant no commerce should the wise man hold. Evil is concourse with the bad, with the believer and the wise. The gentle and the learned man communion should the wise man hold. For blessed is concourse with the good. The following verse was uttered, when the lay follower of Thera, infatuated with her own beauty, was living in sensuality, and in order to make her understand the frailty of the body. Some say it was spoken in admonition of those who lost their heads at sight of Ambapali. See the tricked-out puppet shape, a mass of sores, a mass diseased, teeming with many purposes and plans, and yet in whom there is no power to persist. See the tricked-out form, bejeweled, ringed, all sheathed in bones and skinny envelope, by help of gear made fine and fair to see. B with habit of doing make-up adorning feet and face, remaining within the power of moha, that one will not go to the state of divinity. C with habit of beautifying hair and adorning eyes, remaining within the power of moha, that one will not go to the state of divinity. C with habit of beautifying and adorning, remaining within the power of moha, that one will not go to the state of divinity. Def those with habit of beautifying and adorning themselves. They will meet a sad state after the breakup of body. Just like a deer is ensnared in net and carried away by a hunter. The next verses were a poem uttered by the Thera when he had won Arahantship that night on his couch. Much learned in holy wisdom and eloquent. The real servant of the Buddha is him. Now has the burden fallen from his back. Released, the Gautamid lies down to rest. For him the deadly evils live no more. Gone are the chains, the barriers all behind. In blissful peace he bears his final frame. Forever past the power of birth and death. In which are founded and set up the truths taught by the Buddha of the Sun's great line. The path that to Nibbana straight did lead. There, too, stands Ananda of the Gautama clan. Now one day Moggallana the Brahmin cattle herder asked the Thera, "You are very learned in the Buddha's rule. How many of the doctrines your Lord taught do you keep in your mind?" The Thera replied, 82,000 from the Buddha's self. I have learned, from monks yet 2,000 more. Hence 84,000 texts in all. The number that for me have currency. One day the Thera showed a man of desultory life the danger of no culture thus. Whosoever but little knowledge has, that man grows old as did an ox. His fleshly bulk is multiplied, but divine understanding grows not. The following verses he said concerning a bhikkhu who despised another as less learned than himself. The learned man who did despise foreknowledge, him who little knows, is as a blind man who did bear a lamp. So it is borne in on me. Wait on the men of learning. Look, that learning nowise injured be. For it is the root of holy life. Hence bear the doctrine in your hearts. Knowing the sequence of the text, and versed in what the text did mean, apt to interpret and explain. This scholar grasps the path aright, and well its sense did ascertain. By patience eager purpose grows, upsurges effort. Then he weighs. Thus timely exercising will, within he grows composed, intent. Who in the path is widely versed, and bears its doctrines in his heart. Disciple of the Buddha, wise, eager to understand the path. Such as he is, him follow yet. Who in the path is widely versed, and bears its doctrines in his heart. Of the great Lord's treasure ward, an eye is he for all the world. Whom all should honor and revere. Who in the path is widely versed. Who in the path takes his delight, did love, and con it over well, and lets it live in memory. That monk from the holy path will never secede nor fall away. One day he stirred up a listless, slothful bhikkhu this way. Are you so heavy, unwilling to act? Life hourly ebbing, cannot rise? To give your body pleasures gross? So greedy? From where should come to you the happy ease of holy monk? The following verse the Thera uttered on hearing of the passing away of the general of the path. The firmament on every hand grows dim, yes, all confused stand. The truths I seemed to understand. Gone is the noble friend we love. And dark is earth and heaven above. And is the comrade passed away? And is the Lord gone from hence? No better friend is left, I think, than to have guard over deed and sense. They of the older time are gone. The new men suit me not at all. Alone today this child did brood, like nesting bird when rain did fall. The next stanza was spoken by the Lord. Full many folk from many regions have come to see. Prevent them not as hearers of the path. Make them to see me, it is the time. And the next by the Thera, delighting to do his will. Full many folk from many regions come to see. The Lord opportunity did give. The man who sees stops none. The next 5 stanzas were spoken to show his position as chief attendant. For 25 years a learner I. No sensual consciousness arose in me. Oh, see the seemly monk's order of the path. For 25 years a learner I. No hostile consciousness arose in me. O see the seemly monk's order of the path. For 25 years on the Exalted One I waited, serving him by loving deeds. And like his shadow followed after him. For 25 years on the Exalted One I waited, serving him with loving speech. And like his shadow followed after him. For 25 years on the Exalted One I waited, serving him with loving thoughts. And like his shadow followed after him. More. When pacing up and down, the Buddha walked. Behind his back I kept the pace always. And when the path was being taught, in me, knowledge and understanding of it grew. But I am one who yet has work to do. A learner with a mind not yet matured. And now the Lord hence has passed away. Whoever to me such sweet compassion showed. Oh! Then was terror, then was mighty dread. Then stiffened hair and quivered creeping nerve. When he, provided with every crowning grace, the all-enlightened Buddha passed away. The 3 following stanzas were added by the members of the council in praise of the Thera, who in the path is widely versed, and bears its doctrines in his heart. Of the great Lord's treasure ward, who is passed away. And I was he for all the world, is Ananda, who in the path is widely versed, and bears its doctrines in his heart. Of the great Lord's treasure ward, and I was he for all the world, dispelling gloom in darkest place, sage of the tireless ministry, foremost in mindful vigilance, foremost in firm fortitude, upholder of the holy path, of all its jewels, a living mine, our Thera, Ananda. And this verse he said as he lay while dying his last death. The teacher has my loyalty and love, and all the Buddha's ordinance is done. Lo, have I laid the heavy load I was having. Cause for rebirth is found in me no more.